101 Underground Riders, the official clothing company of the World Sidecarcross Championship. www.101riders.com. Partners of WSC are Zabel, 101 Underground Riders, Denicol Lubricants, fimsidecarcross.com and Motorsport TV. Hi everyone and welcome to La Belle France. We find ourselves in the Bourgogne, Franche-Comté to be exact, in the east of the country with Dijon as its capital. And we're in the small town of Vesoul, centre of the automotive industry and home to PSA, the Peugeot and Citroën manufacturer. But we're not here to talk cars. Not even four wheels, but three. In Vesoul this weekend was the final Grand Prix of this year's World Sidecarcross Championship. The WSC 2018 series is now history, and the next 26 minutes will show us the final race of this fascinating and riveting series. So enjoy yourselves. Saturday qualifying is almost important as the Grand Prix races themselves, so we must take a look at that. And then it's superstar time. We're talking to the new world champions Marvin van Leeuwen and Ben van den Boogaard. And we'll find out if a little bit of sidecar motocross history was made here today, so stay with us. Well, we already know that the first half of this season was a catastrophe for the top three teams, and the chances offered were too tempting for the young guns. Marvin van Leeuwen and Koen Hermans dominated 2018 and found themselves first and second in the standings. It was round 8 before the defending champion Etienne Bax finally tasted victory, followed by another big name and multiple champion Daniel Willemsen. And then the kids were back in town in Stelpa, Latvia, because victory went to Koen Hermans and Nicolas Mousset. And for Hermans, it was a milestone in his career with his first ever victory in the World Championship. And then at the penultimate Grand Prix in Roggenburg, Marvin van Leeuwen and passenger Ben van den Boogaard could rejoice in their first title. And this crew confirmed the title with victory number 6, underlining this year's great dominance. The 68 points were insurmountable, but there was still a lot in the lower places to fight for, so there was tension right the way to the very end. The last Grand Prix, although in France, was but a comparative stone's throw from Roggenburg, Switzerland, so it was a fairly relaxing few days between the two final events on the calendar. This made a pleasant change from earlier in the season. This was a small bonus for the whole paddock after a full season of crossing Europe back and forth. The track in Vesoul ranks among the most demanding, which you can see from the sidecar of the Czech Čermák brothers. It's a hard surface full of stones. 1730 metres long with tricky technical bits and lots of fierce jumps. It's probably the best example of a natural hillside track. In the second half of the season, the French pair Valentin Giraud and Johnny Bader, who wanted to succeed at home, had got their act together.
I started with Johnny this year, was much more difficult for me, of course. but step by step and GP by GP we getting a good speed, and I think last weekend we crossed a new step with this podium, and now I feel that with Johnny I'm come back with my own speed, and yeah, of course this weekend I think about the victory.
Valentin Giraud and Johnny Badair were in the first qualifying group and showed a clean pair of heels to the pack from the start. Another cracking start went to Arne Janssens and Luc Rostang, and for a change it was Etienne Bax and Kasper Stupilis well in the mix, dicing over third or fourth place. Bax, of course, knew what he had to do and pushed on. Quite soon he got the better of Arne Janssens and was then up to second. Valentin Giraud and Johnny Badair continued to lead, but Etienne Bax and Kasper Stupilis were closing in on their case. And these two crews fought it out, with Bax and Stupilis eventually getting the result they needed. They took victory in Q1 ahead of Giraud and Badair, with Janssens and Rostang third. In the second qualifier, the British veteran Stuart Brown came out to play, but by his own admission, he was hurting.
Suffered a few injuries the last few weeks. Just trying to get over the days where we were having a bad day and just trying to, you know, get what we can really. But yeah, I mean, again, as we say, we'll do what we can do. I mean, hopefully if we can finish this week, well, first of all qualify, and then try and concentrate on the races and try and finish the races. So yeah, we'll see what we can do.
The best start to Q2 was by another local hero, Bastian Thomas, whose passenger was the Dutch, Siebe van der Putten. Second place was taken by another Dutch-French pair, Koen Hermans and Nicolas Mousset, with the Czechs, Thomas and André Cermak third. But moments later it was all changed at the front, with Koen Hermans and Nicolas Mousset now leading. Thomas and van der Putten second, and third position still belonging to the Cermaks. Bastian Thomas is a very promising French sidecar crosser, and he delivered well in Vesoul before his home fans. Not so lucky were the Britons Brown and Millard. They had to retire. Fellow countrymen Brett Wilkinson and Dan Chamberlain kept the flag flying though, and had a tremendous battle with the Cermaks, only for it to end in tears when the Czechs had this massive crash. High speed and pointing upwards just does not work. It was game over for them. Fortunately, with no serious injury, just the passenger's hill, but you can only imagine the impact. In the second qualifier, it was a cakewalk for Koen Hermans and Nicolas Mousset, who had more than a 9-second lead at the end. Then came Thomas and van der Putten, third Wilkinson and Chamberlain, with Van Verven and Peter Bunk fourth. Those who did not qualify automatically try again in last chance, and among them was Stuart Brown and Joe Millard. They made the fastest time as expected, and these 5 crews went through with them. But let's go back to the previous Grand Prix, where Bax and Stupilis in the second race lost the passengers' handrail.
It was 99% sure that we could not take any points anymore in this race, but you know, we keep on fighting till the end, and I think that is how people know us. We don't give up, never, and you know, at the end we will be probably third in the standings, but we try to score at least 1 point. We are there to race, and okay, we have technical problems, but we still want to finish this race, and I think it's the most important that we show to everybody what we are capable of, and that we're not giving up, never, in no situation. So, and that is how we want to show ourselves to the people.
And that was not an easy situation for Kasper Stupilis.
Like in the beginning, I was looking where to hold. I was with one arm by Etienne and the other arm by the radiator. Then later I find out that I have a bar here and I can hold the radiator. So on the straights was pretty good like this. The right corners, actually, I find like slow right corners, I find out it was really easy for me. Actually, normally I grab myself over here, but then I took it myself over here and I could hang pretty deep anyway, not only with the bar. To come back was a little bit difficult, but the most difficult was the left corners, because then I grabbed Etienne around his stomach, and then my legs was moving and he was moving on the bike, and that was really weird feeling.
Even the impossible can sometimes seem close to hand, but the bottom line for sidecar crossers is never give up. It's in the DNA. The 2018 season was completely and deservedly dominated by the new team of Marvin van Leeuwen and Ben van den Boogaard. Van Leeuwen, at the age of 22, became the youngest sidecar cross driver ever to win the title of world champion. It was as much of a surprise to him as anyone. He certainly didn't expect to celebrate the title this year.
Yeah, before it was a little bit strange. Then I find Ben, and then I know that we can go for good results, but I never expected that we can go for the world title, and yeah, it's great. It's still unbelievable, but yeah, we do it, and it's very nice. This season is unbelievable. 6 GP wins and 5 in a row, and yeah, we never expected.
The Belgian-Dutch crew won the world title in the penultimate Grand Prix, and this meant a lot to the co-driver Ben van den Boogaard.
A lot of people come to you, and yeah, then it's an explosion actually. And yeah, when you're on the way home, then you start to think, and then you realize what happened that day, and then you really yeah, realize that the work from a whole year happened, and that the target is reached.
Marvin van Leeuwen is a very modest man, and he acknowledges the contribution made by Ben van den Boogaard.
Yeah, it's a lot, I think, with Ben. He is so strong. He has so much years. He was all before 3 times world champion, and I think it was for all the team a lot to have Ben in the team, and yeah, he knows what he needs to do with a lot of stress. Yeah, he knows everything about to fight for the world title.
As we've already said, Ben van den Boogaard now has 4 titles to his name, but this year was something else.
It's I think the most emotional title for the team. We didn't expect it in the beginning of the season, and we were growing week by week, and yeah, maybe again, but I know how Marvin was, yeah, what his wish was to bring some honor to his father, and if you can work with that target, it makes a lot of feelings.
After many years, the sidecar manufacturer VMC took the title, and Marvin van Leeuwen is also very pleased with this.
I'm very happy that we can bring VMC back to a world title. That's, I think, almost 10 years ago. It's very nice to show it that you can do it also with the VMC, and we have a very good feeling on the bike, and thanks a lot to VMC Hokop and Sidecar Service Davy Maris, and yeah, we do it with the VMC, and that's very good.
And how will it be in 2019? Will we see the crew of Van Leeuwen and Van den Boogaard again?
Yeah, for next year we go again together, me and Ben, and we are very happy that yeah, we can go 1 year more. And yeah, like I said before, we go again for the best, and hopefully we can go maybe again for the next world title.
Next season will be a great battle, and fans of this sport definitely have something to look forward to. Now it's back to Vesoul, the stunning venue for the final Grand Prix of this brilliant season. The French love their motorsport, and there's always been a great following for motocross in particular, so a big crowd here for the World Sidecar Cross Championship was no surprise at all, and this was a big crowd. In the paddock we bumped into Brett Wilkinson, who's in very good shape at the end of the season.
I'm feeling good for today. Yesterday was good. We third in the qualification. We hit the gate, but managed to come from last to third, so the speed was good. Just need a good start.
Valentin Giraud was still fired up to win his home Grand Prix, although he knew he had a big job on his hands.
I like to win the GP, but it's not easy. I'm not only one to want it, so yeah, the feeling is good. Track is okay. It's quite technical here, but it's actually not easy. Some places on the track it's really not easy to drive. Slippery, and we have some technical jump also, so we need to be precise on the track somewhere.
Speed, precision and sheer persistence, those are the key qualities needed to win in this sport and on this fast track. So, who could deliver those qualities in race 1? Starting best were Koen Hermans and Nicolas Mousset, with the always excellent Arne Dierkens and Luc Rostang. Gary Moulds, number 63 for Northern Ireland, came third with Steve Kerwin, while Etienne Bax and Kasper Stoupelis, although in the top 10, didn't make the best of it. But then things changed and Arne Dierkens went ahead, followed by Julian Veldman and Glenn Janssens, with Koen Hermans now third. Home hero Valentin Giraud was fourth. Behind these came the new world champion, Belgian Marvin van Lukenen, with his Dutch passenger Ben van den Boogaard. Then Gremlins hit 2 of the top 5. First Dierkens and Rostang slowed dramatically, and moments later Koen Hermans and Nicolas Mousset were sidelined with a dead engine.
7, Daniel Villeneuve.
And while Dierkens rejoined after a pit stop to fix a broken steering damper, Koen Hermans and Nicolas Mousset were stranded out on the track, and that is exactly where they stayed. Julian Veldman took the win from Valentin Giraud in second. A solid third place went to Marvin van Lukenen and Ben van den Boogaard, who were testing the new VMC chassis in France. And fighting hard for Britain were Brett Wilkinson and Dan Chamberlain, who had a dodgy start but still made it through to a brilliant fourth. Even more impressive were Etienne Bax and Kasper Stoupelis, who came from 16th to 5th, but Bax was not at all happy. He just cannot get the thing off the line this year. Daniel Willemsen and Robbie Bax brought it home 6th. But it was good to see the youngsters Julian Veldman and Glenn Janssens in control of race 1 on Sunday, with a 10-second lead over home heroes Giraud and Beder. Julian Veldman and Glenn Janssens took their first Sunday race, reaching another milestone in their young careers. And it was 8th for the impressive Gary Moulds, with Kurt Varick rounding out the top 10, still nursing a problem with his hand. Race 1 in the season finale in Vesoul delivered some other interesting results too. But Marvin van Lukenen, the world champion, had it all under control. It was a near-perfect race for local superstars Valentin Giraud and Johnny Beder, with Julian Veldman and Glenn Janssens delighted with their first win. And how did the race pan out for Julian Veldman?
First 3 laps the track was very wet, slippery, and yeah, I just need to see the lines from Hermans and the guys in front of me, and yeah, I saw that, and then I just made yeah, my own lines with them, and yeah, I could pass them. Yeah, they crashed in front of me 2 times, and yeah, I could pass them and then take the lead, and yeah, finished first.
Sidecarcross history is constantly being rewritten, and yet here was another example. Was there still more to come? Well, we have to wait for race 2 on Sunday to find out. And we're nearly there, so let's take a look at how the points sit now. The start of race 2 unfolded much the same as before, as Koen Hermans and Nicolas Mousset hit the front. Then came Arno Dierkens and Luc Rostang, with the Golden Boys from race 1, Julian Veldman and Glenn Janssens, sitting third. Gert van Verben and Peter Bunk were fourth, followed by Marvin van Lukenen and Ben van den Boogaard. From 8th, Etienne Bax and Kasper Stoupelis fought ahead as Marvin van Lukenen and Ben van den Boogaard moved to 4th. Hermans and Mousset were clear and on their way, but the battle for second was a big fight involving 4 crews. The gang comprised Arno Dierkens, followed by Marvin van Lukenen, Julian Veldman and Etienne Bax. Dierkens was the first to get by Veldman and moved to second place. Then Marvin van Lukenen made his move to third, while Etienne Bax and Kasper Stoupelis wanted some of that action too. They overcame Dierkens and Rostang, then pushed ahead of van Lukenen and van den Boogaard. Brett Wilkinson and Dan Chamberlain were closing in again and became involved with Arno Dierkens and Luc Rostang over a scrap for 5th. This second race just didn't happen for Valentin Giraud and Johnny Bader, but with the French crew classified 7th. Overall, Giraud finished 4th, but the 3 great names from last year, Bax, Willemsen and Giraud, were overshadowed by the youngsters. The very last battle for points this year was won by Dutchman Koen Hermans together with his French passenger Nicolas Mousset. In the overall classification of the French Grand Prix, this crew took 7th because of their failure to score in race 1. Did they care? Not really. The FIM silver medal for 2018 was already in the hands of the young Dutchman. On the podium, Marvin van Lukenen and Ben van den Boogaard celebrated their successful season, ranked to 2nd overall here, but world champions anyway. It was party time. And that's how race 2 looked, with Julian Veldman and Glenn Janssens second, giving them a career first overall Grand Prix victory. And here are 6 more from the final race this year. It was 3rd place overall for Etienne Bax and Kasper Stoupelis.
At this moment I look back over the season and then I'm quite disappointed over the season, and like I said before, it brings motivation for the next season, and we will work harder this winter, and something went wrong this season and we don't know what. The stars are not working, and we need to make progress this winter. We know what we need to do and we will do that, so we will hopefully come back stronger next year.
Silver from France maybe, but gold for the whole season. That's the bottom line for Marvin van Lukenen and Ben van den Boogaard.
We start this weekend with a whole new bike. It's different to start, but we had nothing to lose, and we tried. Yesterday we had some problems, but today in the morning and free practice the feeling was so much better. And yeah, you see we have now a second on the podium, and it's perfect for the last weekend and for sure the title.
And this pair go down in history as the youngest winners of a World Sidecarcross Grand Prix. Dutchman Julian Veldman and his Belgian passenger Glenn Janssens.
It's the first one, and I hope it's not the last one.
I believe you. What about you, Glenn? Your feelings, of course.
Yeah, I'm very happy with the victory, and I never thought this in the beginning of the season, so the best feeling ever.
And this is how the final ranking for this year's Sidecarcross World Championship looks. Surprisingly, but well-deserved champions are Marvin van Lukenen and Ben van den Boogaard. Despite their many technical problems, Arno Dierkens and Luc Rostang were in the top 10. Etienne Bax failed to defend his title from last year, and together with Kasper Stoupelis took a creditable 3rd place overall in the table.
That was laid out before them and ask why.
But what a fantastic result for Koen Hermans and Nicolas Mousset with silver. Brilliant.
Never stop, so going when you finish, and even when we bleed, so
So all hail the new champions, Marvin van Lukenen and Ben van den Bogart. The WSC 2018 season is now behind us, but there's one big final race happening on September 22nd, 23rd. That's the Sidecarcross and Quadcross des Nations, held in Slagelse, Denmark. So take this as an invitation, because you'll be able to see this traditional and spectacular team event live. Find out more on fimsidecarcross.com. We'll see you there. Thanks for watching. Partners of WSC are Zabel, 101 Underground Riders, Denicol Lubricants, fimsidecarcross.com and Motorsport TV. 101 Underground Riders, the official clothing company of the World Sidecarcross Championship. www.101riders.com